Welcome to DevKit Weekly, where this week we're reviewing and raffling the Inforce 6403 hardware development kit from Penguin Edge, a product line of Penguin Solutions. Imagine a police body cam. We've all seen, or at least heard of those, right? Now, for first responders, what if those on-body systems were artificial intelligence enabled and cloud connected, capable of detecting and tracking faces, live streaming to support services, and even saving footage into secure cloud storage? Things would certainly be more transparent. A body cam as advanced as that would need to be based on hardware like the Inforce 6403 hardware development kit. The Inforce 6403 HDK is from Penguin Solutions, who, for reference, was formerly known as Smart Embedded Computing. Now, before you think I've lost my mind, I know. This is way too big for a body cam unless the body cam is on some Jack and the Beanstalk giant. Well, that's because you're looking at the carrier that's included in the kit to provide access to the 43mm by 32.5mm Inforce 6403 Micro SoM that's hiding under the heatsink here. The whole thing is underneath this. If you look under the hood of the heatsink, what you're gonna find is a Qualcomm QCS610 IoT Octa core system on chip that integrates Qualcomm's Kryo 460 CPU, which is based on Arm Cortex-A76 and A55 cores. There's also an Adreno 612 GPU, a 1.1 GHz Hexagon 685 DSP, and even a 14-bit Spectra 230 ISP that's capable of capturing 21 megapixel images on a single camera and 13 megapixel images on dual camera mode, and there's zero shutter in each. Essentially, the QCS610 octa-core SoC is the brain for HD smart cameras and other similar devices, which can make use of the included H.264 or H.265 and HEVC codecs, and those codecs support 4K 30 encode and decode. The SoC even supports computer vision and deep learning via an on-chip Qualcomm AI engine. It's flanked by 2 GB of onboard low-power DDR4 memory, 64 GB of eMMC flash, and an SD card slot. Oh yeah, and despite the noticeable heatsink here, the Inforce 6403 also provides intelligent, scalable power management to deliver extreme energy efficiency in mobile and battery-powered apps. Obviously, the benefit of having the 6403 on this carrier is that you can quickly and effortlessly gain access to a slew of onboard I/O that accelerates development. So there's this gigabit Ethernet port here, a USB 2.0 host, and a Type-C port that are the primary points of access if you're looking to debug and develop on the board. The Inforce 6403 also includes a 4-lane MIPI DSI with full HD plus capability, 3 MIPI CSI lines for super easy integration of high-res cameras, HDMI 2.0 ports, and Ultra HD USB-C, both of which accommodate 4K displays. And there's even a hi-fi audio jack right here that pairs nicely with the audio codec that's integrated into an onboard power management IC. I don't want to gloss over anything at this point, so I have to point out that there's also a battery connector, which is very important for the applications in question. There are expansion headers and a SIM card slot even over here. That's important because you may have noticed by now that there are these quad channel Molex cellular antennas. Some of those connect to this lte-m PCIe module in the top middle of the carrier, which is there for no other reason than to help support LTE Cat M4 connectivity. The cellular subsystem has been pre-certified for use in the US and Canada, and while it's an optional feature that you can leave out to save on some cost, for the applications in question, you're pretty much going to need this type of connectivity anyway. There's also support for 802.11a, b, g, n, and AC 1x1 Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5.0, and those are supported by a 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz antenna here, also from Molex. Of course, we also have to talk about software. The Inforce 6403 comes with either a Qualcomm Linux BSP or an Android 10 BSP, which integrates Google Firebase. With every new BSP release, Penguin delivers updated, royalty-free software components and multimedia codecs, in the case of Android, as well as plenty of detailed documentation. In addition to supporting all the 6403's I/O and peripherals right out of the box, the BSPs provide access to Qualcomm SDKs like the Snapdragon Neural Processing Engine SDK and Hexagon Sdk. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the Snapdragon Neural Processing SDK helps developers deploy neural nets trained in Caffe, Caffe2, Onyx, or TensorFlow run on the SoC's CPU, GPU, or even DSP. Meanwhile, the Hexagon tool is more focused on executing multimedia workloads directly on the DSP itself. And when you combine that native tool support with the compute capabilities and all that integrated connectivity we already touched on, once you get your hands on one of these things, you're really pretty much halfway to creating your next intelligent IoT endpoint. And if you're trying to do that, get your hands on one of these, that is, head over to the penguinsolutions.com website for $249 to $369 options, one of which has cellular support, the other one which does not, to get started. Of course, we all know how things are during this crazy time of supply chain fluctuation, etc. So if you're not able to procure one of the Inforce 6403 boards there, another option is to enter this week's raffle. And the best part is, if you win, you'll get one of these HDKs for absolutely free. It comes with the power cables, the carrier, this Micro SoM itself, and we'll even pay the shipping anywhere in the world. To enter the raffle, just click on the link that's on your screen now or in the description below. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this episode. Good luck bringing more intelligence to the edge, which should be a breeze with all the integrated capabilities of kits like the Penguin Solutions Inforce 6403 HDK. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on DevKit Weekly.